Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie!
What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Abby's Window. And of course, as always, I am joined by the one and only Jodie Gilly. And we're going to start off a little bit different because I know that Jodie would like to maybe take a few moments to say a few words. So, yeah, I'll turn it over to you, Jodie.
I'm going to try and do it without crying because it's been an emotional few days, but being born and raised in England and just having that connection, my whole family still being over there. I know we have a lot of people in the chat that are from there as well. And just pass on my condolences to everybody else that's part of the UK and the Commonwealth and British citizens. It's definitely a weird feeling, and I know a lot of people that aren't from there. It's hard for people to wrap their brain around that she was, you know, the leader for 70 years. She's the only leader that I've ever known my entire life, the only one that my parents have ever known. And now we are not going to have a queen for a really long time. She'll be the only queen that I've ever known. And it's weird, having to kind of switch over. Many applauds to King Charles III and the royal family for having to remain poised in these moments when they've lost a family member. But Queen Elizabeth was one of those people that she handled those responsibilities and that duty of being queen with dignity and poise. And everybody that I've talked to that have met her said that she was one of the most kind-hearted and generous people that they've ever met. So definitely going to be weird, but yeah, we wish the family many, many well wishes.
Yeah, definitely our thoughts and prayers are with her family and everyone that has been impacted. And it's so very different for us here in the states that I've seen some people try to make the comparison. There really is no comparison.
There isn't. There
Um,
really isn't. I mean, Winston Churchill was prime minister when she became queen.
right. So I mean that's the equivalent to having a president for that long, and you're not going to see that.
I mean, she met,
That's
I think it was 15 different presidents,
yeah,
14 different prime ministers.
yeah,
It's a long time.
yeah. So yeah, definitely we want to send our condolences to her family and to all of you who have been impacted by her life and what she did during during her life. And she made a major impact um, on so many people's lives. So we definitely are thinking of all of you. Jody, I know that was difficult, and I appreciate you saying those words. Those were beautiful words. Um, so there's really no way to transition from incredible sadness to what we're doing here every week. But we're gonna try for the next 53 minutes to brighten up people's evenings and talk about some different things. We're gonna start out with some Caleb's Corner um, first, but let me welcome in some folks and then we will get rolling on that. So we have John G, Zeke, Shane, Big Dan, Seven Fiend, Diana, Hanzo, Paul, Sean Suslowitz, Khaled, what's up? James Chadwick, Deese. I hope I'm saying that right. B. Tazzy is in the house. Dylan McClure, Gust. Let's see who else. Dalton Riley is in the house. Steve Moxley joining us from Facebook. Chris Wilhelm, and I think he said he went over to Twitch too. So, Deanna, yep, he went over to Twitch. We appreciate the Twitch views. Trust me. Miss Bliss Gamer 0809. So you didn't catch me this week. Didn't catch me this week.
She didn't get you then.
They didn't get me this week. Jason Peace, what's up? Jeremy Stewart. Corey, what's up, Corey? Rare Kitty Balloonicorn. Every week, I love to read that name. Okay, all right. So, gonna start off this week with some Caleb's Corner because Jodie had a very special and eventful weekend. I want you to kind of set it up first because this was almost a weekend that wasn't, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So talk about that first, and then we'll go into everything.
A lot happened this weekend, and I have to explain a little bit more of it for people to really understand how distraught I was. So I resigned from my job, so I no longer work there. Whole bunch of drama involved with that. I won't go into it, but the same day that I walked out and left, I got an email saying that the show in Nashville was canceled, and that was a show that we had meet and greets tickets to. So all that happened in the same day, and I was a mess. Like, I was like, man, I don't have a job anymore, and the one thing that I was really looking forward to was this meet and greet, and at that point I was like, I need a hug from Caleb because it's just been one of those days. And yeah, so that show got canceled, and I reached out to Karen, the girl that I ended up going with, and I said, well, they're doing a show the next night in Kentucky. It was actually closer to Indianapolis where we both live. So I said, do you want to go to that one instead? And we can just kind of shift forces, I guess, and let's go to that one instead. And she was like, yeah, okay. So I jumped on there. There were 2 front row tickets open, and I grabbed them, and we went down on Friday night to Owensboro, Kentucky, and spent the night there, and got up and got ready for the concert the next day. And I had presents for Caleb, and wasn't really sure how that was going to go. There was no meet and greet attached to this one. It was just a show. So I was hoping that I would get to, flag him down at some point so that I could give him his presents. And during the show, he said that he was going to be out in the lobby afterwards, kind of self-promoting, selling some of his vinyls and CDs and merch and stuff. And so I was like, great. And went out there, sat in the lobby. I wanted to wait for everybody to go through the line first. I didn't want to take up a bunch of his time. So I waited for everybody to get done first. And gave him his presents and took a bunch of pictures and videos during the concert. There was something about this show. It was almost like the reason that Nashville didn't happen is because we were supposed to end up at this one. You know what I mean? It was one of those really weird, obviously I've seen this show before, but for some reason this one felt different. You really, really felt Meatloaf in that show. And, the band was incredible, and Caleb was incredible. Some of the notes that he hit during that show, you really felt Meatloaf all over that. And it was really special. So he was wonderful to meet. Again, obviously, got to give him his presents. He was super excited about those. Got plenty of hugs, and it was just a really good day.
Good. And I know that you would like to share a video, right?
Yes. So I took so many videos that I said, I just kind of need to put them together. Maybe like make a little promo for Caleb. And obviously the whole band is amazing, but with this being Caleb's Corner, I wanted to focus on Caleb a little bit and just kind of support him and show people where to find him. And uh, all the videos put together initially, the thing was like 45 minutes long. So I tried to cut it down as much as I can and just kind of add some stuff into it. My favorite moments, some of the amazing notes that he hit. So yeah, I made that.
All right. So this one is not 45 minutes.
No.
This is 3 minutes and 33 seconds of Caleb Johnson. So sit back and enjoy the tunes, and we'll be back on the other side. All right. So there we go. That's a sneak peek into the world of Caleb Johnson and Caleb's Corner. So
he is going to be seeing lots of comments about what a good singer he is. He's awesome. So yes, he travels with Meatloaf's band Neverland Express. He also has his own band, which you saw at the end of the video. That was his song, Caleb Johnson and the Rayland Saints. And this November, December, he is hitting the road with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra on the East Coast tour. So yeah, there's lots of opportunities to go and see him live. And I've said it before, listening to him on CD and stuff like that, it's wonderful, but live it is a whole different level. So go check him out if he's anywhere near you.
There you go. There you go. I'm hoping that he does a Northeast run at some point, but we'll see. We'll see if he comes close. I'd love to see him at SPAC, which is a Saratoga Performing Arts Center. And it's like an outdoor venue that's kind of like an amphitheater. It's really
Mhm.
cool. I
Yeah,
would love to see him out there.
I've seen some outdoor shows, Black Mountain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's just really good.
Yeah.
And when I met him, I did plug the show a little bit
You did.
and
You did.
asked him if I said he needs to, it would be nice if he would come on and kind of talk about his career and what he's doing and stuff. And he said he'd love to, maybe early next year, because he's about to hit the road and be on the road for a few months. So, but yeah, he said that he'd love to. So
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. So now we're gonna shift
to the man of the hour.
to the man of the hour every week. Windham Rotunda, whether you want to call him Bray, is fine. But I wanted to share a couple things first. Brittany K has done some drawings, and if you want to purchase these, hit her up. I have to get her.
I love that one.
Yeah, this is the one that she did with Leatherface,
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. And then we've got this one, which is
I like that.
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So if you want to pick one of these up, reach out to Brittany K. She's on Facebook, she's on Twitter, she's on Instagram. Follow her, hit her up, say, look, I want one of those. Let me buy one, please.
Yeah.
They are for sale. So just hit her up, let her know. Also, this wouldn't be a show if we didn't bring up the meet and greets, right?
Yes.
So November 19th and 20th, Bray will be in the Midwest.
He will.
He will be in Ohio and Michigan on November 19th and 20th. So go check him out. If you haven't gotten tickets already, I hope they haven't sold out, but I have a feeling they might be close to that. So if they haven't already, but yeah. Brittany is sometimes in here, so maybe she's, I don't know if she's listening or not, but if she is, maybe she can come in the chat and you guys can chat it up with her and she can tell you how to hit her up on social media.
Definitely looking forward to that meet and greet. I'll be at the one in Toledo. Yeah, he's such a fun person to meet. That's why he'll always be my number one, and he's probably my favorite person on the planet. So
there you go. Well, speaking of your favorite person on the planet, we got a couple tweets, right? Some cryptic tweets from one Kyle Scarborough. Let's see. Casting Content says, "Good evening. What is the most exciting thing we can expect tonight on Raw?" It's a good question.
Al said, "When Bray comes on the show, it'll break the internet."
Yes.
Stay tuned.
It would break the internet and our channel, but we're okay with that. We're okay with that. I want to throw that question out to the chat. If you're watching Raw tonight, what do you think the most exciting thing we can expect? I think looking at what happens in that match, or what's supposed to be a match between Edge and Dominic, keep your eyes on that. Keep your eyes on that. The other thing is and you can hate on me if you want to. I really don't give a crap. There is a really interesting women's tag team championship match.
Oh yeah.
tonight. You've
Oh,
got um you've got the current champions Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah going up against Io Sky and Dakota Kai
ooh,
tonight, and just pay attention to that match because I think it could be some interesting stuff going on. So
there's going to be some shenanigans.
yes, yes, shenanigans indeed, shenanigans indeed. Okay, we got some tweets.
We did.
People in the chat are saying Kyle is such a tease. Let's do the first one. Kyle Scarborough putting out there a gift from Silence of the Lambs.
Great.
This great movie, by the way. If
Fantastic.
you haven't seen it, you're probably under the age of 30, which is fine.
Mm.
There's always time to go back and watch a classic. Go and watch that classic. Hanzo saying, "What if the SmackDown on November 18th is in Ohio?"
Hmm.
That would make for an interesting meet and greet the next 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. So he tweeted out this GIF and it says, all good things to those who wait.
Yep. He's absolutely right.
All right. So you text me when you saw Kyle tweeting and you were like, he's got some cryptic tweets out there. What did you I mean, this was pretty on the nose, it's pretty obvious, but thoughts on this one?
I mean, you have to remember that, yes, Kyle has worked with Bray. He's friends with Bray. I'm friends with Kyle. I'm friends with Bray. But Kyle also works for other people. Like, Bray isn't his only client. He works with Malachi Black, and there's other people that he works with too. So it's not always about Bray. It might be. And I think this one might have been about Bray. But I know he gets it all the time. People asking, is Bray coming back? Is Bray returning? When's he showing up? And I think we all kind of, like, those of us that know Bray all kind of have the same, like, feeling about it, as far as, and I know Kyle's even said this on Twitter, like, if I knew, would I say anything? Like, if you knew something, that means that Bray if you know something, it means that Bray trusts you to an extent that he knows that you're not going to say anything. So I still think it's soon, and I think it's more of a when and not an if at this point.
Or when, not an if.
And I think we just have to be patient. I think, kind of like I've been saying, I think it's going to be at some point before the end of the year. Yeah, I think we just got to be patient, and I have 100% confidence that it'll pay off.
100% confidence that it will pay off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to multitask because I'm answering a question in the chat, but Kyle, he's a little bit of a cryptic guy sometimes, right? He can put some stuff out there sometimes that makes us go, like he's a little bit cryptic sometimes. And you know what? I like it, Jodie.
Yeah, me too.
I'm answering Chris Wilhelm. I meant Chris D in terms of texting me. But can I throw something? Well, I'll throw it in at the end. If you are in the Albany, Saratoga, Troy, the Capital District, let's say you're in the Capital District, you're going to want to hang on for something that I want to throw out at the end of this, at the end of Abby. So stay tuned for that. Okay. So then we got another tweet, Jody.
What? Sorry.
We got another tweet.
Yes, we did.
The earth shakes, the pillars tremble, the house prevails.
Hmm.
What
Now
in the
this is I think this is one of those that's not about Bray.
Mhm.
It's possible that it is, but I don't know. I feel like this one is probably not about Bray, but it's definitely an interesting piece of art. He's Kyle is a very good artist.
He is. Like,
Yeah,
he's so freaking good.
he's so good. There's a reason why, he's done several tattoos for me.
Yeah, and Joe, what's up? Saying House of Black,
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah.
Um, hey,
It's definitely
could be,
possible.
could be. I mean, like Jody said, and I want you. I mean, you did such a good job breaking this down, but he works with multiple wrestlers
Hmm.
and multiple people in general. I mean, athletes, you name it, he works with them.
Yeah.
So it could be, um, and James. I saw Jason Peace's name somewhere up there. James said Cal replied to someone saying that one is not about Bray.
Yeah.
So, what's up, Rabbit Earl? I think I saw Eric in here earlier too, Odin's son. Um, but yeah, if it's interesting because his story, I mean, his art tells such a story.
It does.
I mean, it,
And yeah, I still remember, when we had him on the several times that he's been on the show, and we were digesting that cabin picture he posted, and we were zooming in it, trying to figure out if there were little numbers here, like hidden messages in it. And I loved his reaction to that. He was just like, good, that's how it's supposed to be.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we how long did we sit and do that photo that day?
Gosh,
Hours, right?
hours.
Hours. We were
We
all
sat there for hours zooming in on every single piece of that picture.
every aspect.
There were two of them, wasn't there? Yeah, there was another one that
Yeah,
we were literally zooming in on every single aspect of that picture, looking for some kind of hidden message. Because, Bray does that all the time. That's something that he's really good at. So
yeah.
hiding
Joe's
things in plain sight.
yeah, hiding things in plain sight. That's right. Joe said we were texting for hours. LOL, maddening. Yes, we were texting each other back and forth for hours.
Hours. Hours. We were all in this group text chat, and we were just going back and forth, back and forth, back. Like, what about this? What does this look like? And oh my gosh, it was.
And oh, did you
Those
see
are
this?
some of my favorite memories, though. Like,
Yeah.
those times that we've spent hours and hours digesting something that Bray said or something that Bray did and looking into it. And I think that's, while I know sometimes that can be maybe a little frustrating for the artist,
Hmm.
or for Bray, that people, like, he cannot breathe on social media without people digesting it and ripping it apart. And I'm sure that's frustrating, but I also think that's one of the things that he enjoys about his fans, that we do study him.
Yeah. I mean every aspect of what he does. I mean, the man, if he puts up, I mean, this has happened before. He's put up a single emoji
Yeah,
and it gets the internet ablaze. Like, hey,
it
what in the
does.
world is he saying here? And it's just
He can like a tweet from somebody that, you know, somebody that works for another company, and people are like, oh my gosh, does that mean he's going there? Like, we're so quick to like jump on it, but you've really got to take your time with it. And Bray is, the one thing that we do know about him is he's intentional with everything.
Mhm.
He's very Yeah, he's just a lot of the things that he does is calculated and intentional, and that's one of the things that we love about him.
It's a good word, calculated.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Alicia saying, when Wyndham comes back to WWE, does that mean my theory was right? Alicia, that would be a yes.
Eric Redbeard just posted something.
Hold on. What did he post? Consume.
Mm-hmm. What was the one that he did before that?
That's a good question.
Friction.
Friction.
So these are all capital. No, so we have a C and an S. The capitalized letters are C and S.
Hmm.
So we got that unwelcome surprises one first.
Yeah.
We got friction with a capital C in the middle and a capital F. And now we've got consume with a capital S.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Again, we have to do the. Come on, Fireflies.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot.
Now I have to run over to Bray's and see if he said anything because he likes to do that too.
Yeah,
He
he
likes to
likes to.
like things or, you know, nothing recent. Wouldn't put it past him to, now that Eric Redbeard has said something, wouldn't put it past him to say something. Especially, I think sometimes he does it intentionally to be nice.
Yeah. Deanna saying the devil's in the details. Hanzo, where I know I saw Hanzo's comment here. Says I think he's resigned. It all depends on Hunter. I believe he's waiting for the right moment to unleash his abomination. Let's talk about that real quick, shall we?
Sure.
There are some reports out there, and again, be careful with what you read. But there are reports out there that are saying that if when he comes back, it's going to be such a huge moment that you don't want it to just kind of be a random thing. Like you want it to be a build and that kind of thing. So the reports are is that he's going to return if and when he returns at I dread saying these, but premium live event. And not
Is
pay
that
per
what
view.
that means?
Yeah, PLE,
I was like, what the heck does PLE mean?
premium live event. That's what WWE calls pay-per-views now. So premium live event. Um, okay. I want to ask this question, and I want to ask this of the chat. We're going to start with returning on one of the weekly shows. What's the benefit? And I'm asking this to Jodie and of the chat. What's the benefit of him returning on one of the weekly shows and not the PLE?
The element of surprise. Because nobody's really expecting him to show up at a random Raw or a random SmackDown. You've got that benefit of surprise. And I think, it keeps people watching Raw and SmackDown because if you are under this assumption that he could show up any place, anytime, you're going to watch all of it. You're going to watch every single thing. And I think, a lot depends on what they're doing with, pay-per-views. It just kind of like we've said before, if he shows up at a pay-per-view, it's going to overshadow that entire pay-per-view. So it's almost like you have to not do it on a not so important pay-per-view, but you have to know that whenever he does come back, it's going to overshadow everything. And I think it would mean more on a random Raw than a pay-per-view, because then you can build up to him being at the pay-per-view. And I think if you have him show up on, like, let's say the Go Home show before Extreme Rules, and, you know, that's going to strike fear, storyline speaking. Like, who the hell is he going to go after at the pay per view? And then now the pay per view becomes a must watch.
Mm-hmm.
It just, there's, and I just don't think, I think because of the hype from the fans, I don't know that the vignettes, like doing some kind of teases, I think at this point it's going to be too obvious. I think you have to go with the element of surprise.
I like it. I like it. Let me get to some comments, but first, C Wrestling. What's up, C? And then Jesse, from Movies to Be Murdered By, my wonderful co-host and sister. Jesse is in the chat as well. Thank you both for joining. C Wrestling says on the Eric Redbeard tweet, "What's the song?"
I don't know.
I don't know either. Um, Let me read some of the comments though. When it comes to the question, like, what's the benefit of having him come back on a weekly show? Uh, Derek saying Wyndham returns on Halloween Monday night. I can feel it. Hello, Derek. By the way, I'm not gonna talk junk to you about your Falcons. I'm not. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I promise you, I'm not. Um, Khaled saying he could return at Halloween Raw. Chris says he's in the cloud, so he can't think about it right now. So 10% benefit the crowd pop will be huge, but it's pointless. Return at Rumble or heck day one. Sean Suslowitz saying can start a build up for a PLE, resume a rivalry and a story. James Grant saying, "Well, look how Johnny Gargano surprised everyone on Raw. It shocked everyone." Yes, I was saying that Chad Gable is going to take on Johnny Gargano tonight. So um, him returning, and this is from Alexa Bliss Gamer. Him returning makes people not want to miss the weekly shows. Okay, that's a good point. Deanna saying, depending on what stories are being told that lean into his return. Halloween could be his return, says Jeremy Stewart. Yes, I got your name right. Big Dan wants vignettes. Big Dan wants vignettes. Well, I think we all want some vignettes. But I think at that point we would know, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, at that point we would kind of know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. Odin's son saying more people will see it. More people have a better chance of seeing a Raw or a SmackDown than a premium event. JB, what's up, JB? Thank you for joining. Chad Gable is wrestling Johnny Gargano tonight. That's been confirmed. Jeffrey saying Halloween would be perfect. What's up, Chad Schrader? Dalton Riley is like, look, it can be a PLE, it can be Raw, it can be SmackDown. I just hope it happens extremely soon.
Yep.
We're there with you. Richard Bird, he will return at Crown Jewel. Do you think he returns to the scene of the crime to
I don't know.
right that wrong? Richard, you think
It's possible.
it is possible? It is.
Mm.
Let's see here. Hope he returns with a new mask, says Jeffrey. Was thinking Halloween Raw and lead up to him going after Roman at the big pay per view after that and taking the title, says Chris Wilhelm, who is joining us from Twitch. Uh, yeah, Deanna saying, did you see the pic of Dexter Loomis from the weekend? The ring is in full smoke.
Ooh.
Yes, it is. I did see that today. Um, yeah, that would be awesome. JB saying his meet and greet in November, and then Survivor Series. Could Triple H have him show up then? It it could happen. I mean, I'm gonna ask Jody this one question. I want to ask all of you this question. Hey Jeff, did you see Bliss? I did see that. I did see that,
She
Corey.
does.
Um, so let me ask you this: let's say he comes back. Would you rather see him on Raw or SmackDown?
I'm gonna say Raw, because I feel like USA Network, it's a longer show. I think they're a little bit more apt to have the darker kind of content.
I like that. I like that. Shane Loki saying Raw, people saying Raw, John Lammy, Jesse, Alicia
It
P
just
all
fits.
saying Raw.
It just fits with the red lighting we used to see and
Yeah,
all of that. And Raw's the red brand.
yeah, that's right.
Just it fits. Not that I would be opposed to seeing him anywhere, but I just think there's a lot going on SmackDown right now. Um, and I think Raw could use the boost and they get more time.
Yeah, yeah, and um, bunch of people James Chadwick. He's joking, people. James Chadwick said main event, then he said joking. We've got a couple people, Seven Fiend and Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809 that say SmackDown. But for the most part, I'm seeing a lot of returning to Raw, a
Yeah,
preference for Raw.
it just fits.
Uh, yeah, it's a good fit, I believe. And listen, I mean, honestly, he could go back and forth.
Hmm.
If he wanted, if you really wanted to do this and have some fun with it, and Sean Rousset put this in the chat saying, Rumble Three Faces of Wyatt. Why not have different characters drafted to different places?
Hmm.
Why not have the Fiend drafted to Raw and Funhouse Bray if he's going to keep those characters
To
uh,
SmackDown.
to SmackDown?
Yep.
So you got a little bit of both. You got them everywhere. So just a thought out there. Seven Fiend going way back saying Velocity, way back in time with Velocity.
Yeah,
And
I think Raw would just be a good fit for him.
yeah, yeah, I think so. I think Raw.
Interesting too. Extreme Rules. Um, that pay per view is where we saw the Swamp match.
Yes, we did, and
Yowie wowie!
it was good.
So is there something to that?
I-
If Extreme Rules is the place, it was the match that he had with Braun. He brought cult leader Bray back. Like, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that match again and see if there's any like nuances, like because I don't remember every detail, but to see if maybe there's a moment where there's some kind of hint of like resurrection or something like that.
Yeah. Hanzo asked a good question. I know he directed it to insiders, but do you think he's tired, bored of being Funhouse Bray the Fiend? If he resigns, do you think he leaves them behind?
I don't think he's tired or bored of it. I mean, the Fiend was something that all that came out of his brain. So, I know he has a big connection with almost every character that he's done. There's really only been, Husky Harris was the one that he said it wasn't him. So I think that there's a piece of him, the real him in every single character he's done. So no, I don't think he's tired of it. I think it's difficult to have a character like the Fiend that's like this undestructible monster. Um, so I think it's difficult to promote in a way because how do you have him lose the right way? And I think that's where some of this got a little bit convoluted is they put him in that title picture and how do you have this character that's supposed to be indestructible defeated? And I think, you know, I kind of like what Finn Balor does with the Demon. Obviously, we haven't seen the Demon for a really long time, but I think the Fiend, you know, can be that special character, you know, that maybe you go, and I get the feeling that's what maybe they were trying to do with having Funhouse Bray start to wrestle, is go through those steps. Like, okay, I fought you as Funhouse Bray. If you look at that feud that he had with Braun Strowman, he fought him as Funhouse Bray. That didn't work. Then he brought out Cult Leader Bray. That didn't work. Then he had to go to the Fiend. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
go in those levels and steps of things, you know, so that then the Fiend really is that special. I've tried everything else I can to beat you. So now I have to bring him out.
I like that. I mean, we got a couple people, James Chadwick and Deanna, saying James said Fiend was way too overexposed, in my opinion. Do you think that they used him a little too much, Jody?
Yes and no. I really like what they did with him in the beginning. How, you know, they had him showing up and attacking random people. Like you never knew where he was going to show up. And like I think they kind of tried to find that way of doing those levels with Funhouse Bray. But I definitely understand what he was saying, but I preferred the Fiend in the beginning where he would just show up and you know, to lack of a better term, wreck everyone and leave.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of character needs to stay unpredictable. And um yeah, I can definitely see why that felt a little bit overexposed, because at one point, you know, when we had him in that title picture, we saw him a lot.
Yeah.
So I get that.
Hey, Jesse Callan Corner. Um, yeah, I mean, it was. I'll say this. I think a couple things happened that WWE didn't anticipate, and I think one of those things was that the Fiend was so freaking popular
Mm,
and there was such a demand for him to be on our screens
yeah.
that WWE was like, well, we got to ride this wave. We got to go do this. And I think in doing that, there were times where it was like, well, how about let Funhouse Bray do this?
Hmm.
Let's change it up just a little bit. But they saw the golden ticket and they wanted to cash in on that golden ticket as much as possible. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah.
And yeah,
Let's
like Sean Rousseff said,
yeah,
like he was the highest merch seller. I mean, he
yeah,
superseded, you know, Roman Reigns in selling merch.
yeah,
And he, like Joe just said too, he carried WWE through COVID with all the cinematic stuff.
mhm,
And you know, it's, you know, there's a lot of depth to Wyndham that I just don't think we've seen yet. And I think we're going to see something, we're going to go down the rabbit hole a little bit more, so to speak.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people want to see him back. I what? Let me ask you this. I asked you the benefit of bringing him back on a weekly show. What's the benefit of holding that off and bringing him back on a pay-per-view? Like, if that's how you close the pay-per-view, what's the benefit in doing that?
I still think you get that element of surprise. Um, because you won't really be expecting, I mean, the fans are expecting it anytime, but um, I mean, the benefit is that's going to be a massive moment for him. You got the eyes of the world. You know, pay-per-views are obviously, you know, they're watched by a lot more people than the regular weekly shows. So if you want to get that big pop exposure for him, not that he really needs it, but um, that's the benefit of having him come back on a pay-per-view.
I mean, it could be crazy.
And having him come back on a pay-per-view, it does make the next Raw, SmackDown unmissable. You're going to get people to tune into it.
Mm-hmm. I think Deanna just said that if you had the return close of PLE, the return to TV is must see. Yeah, that would be that would be crazy. Shane Loki saying the benefit if they brought him back on a pay-per-view, the next Raw, the rating would be through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
James Grant saying if you hold him off until the ending of a pay-per-view event, it was really have the fans watching Raw SmackDown to see what's next. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
It will be must see. Must see. So we're about to wrap up a little bit, and like I said, I have some news, some announcements to make, and then I'm gonna go to Jody for her final thoughts, and then we'll get out of here. Um, John G, do you think, guys, he could return tonight on Monday Night Raw? I think it's gonna be teased out a little bit longer. That's my belief. I think it's gonna be teased out a little bit more. I don't think it happens tonight.
Like I said, I think it's going to be a slow burn.
Yeah, yeah, slow burn this one. So I think honestly, John G and Jody, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we'll have a hint that something's going to happen before it happens. We just won't know what and when, but we'll get a hint.
It'll be a hint that you'll only get if you're really paying attention.
Right, right. Okay.
It's not going to be like a vignette or something like that. It's yeah.
All right. So hopefully that answers your question. John Lammy saying, "Let's be patient, Fireflies." Yeah, I mean, enjoy. What was the 76ers thing? Trust the process. They used to say back in the day when they were losing a lot and building up draft picks. Trust the process. It's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be a really fun ride. Just hang in there a little while longer. All right, so
Ray is not oblivious to how much the fans adore him.
no, he's well aware. He's well aware. All right, before I get to Jody and her final thoughts, I just want to say something real quick. So Thursday, we will have a very special raw Impact watch along on the channel. If you do me a favor, if you're in the capital region of New York, so from Albany all the way up to Saratoga and beyond, like Glens Falls and up, Queensbury, Lake George, whatever. If you're in that area, drop me a Yowie Wowie in the chat. Drop me a Yowie Wowie in the chat, because I'll go ahead and tell you, you will not want to miss our Impact watch along on Thursday. We're going to give away a couple tickets to Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory here in Albany. 2 tickets. Not only are you going to get tickets to the pay-per-view, but you're also going to get tickets for the next night for the tapings, which will be really, really cool. So come out, check us out. We're going to have some more announcements on Twitter as the week goes on about that show. Come check it out. I'm waiting to see some Yowie Wowies. I haven't seen Yowie Wowies yet. But if you're an Impact fan, even if you're not an Impact fan, come check out come check out the watch along on Thursday. Let's see. Hanzo saying Yowie Wowie from London, just want to be involved. Let's see. Yowie Wowie says Steve Moxley. James Chadwick is stunned right now. But come check us out on Thursday night because it's going to be a lot of fun. And if if you're in surrounding states and you're willing to drive to Albany to go to Bound for Glory, let me know. Hey, we got a new person in the chat. What's up? I don't want to butcher your name.
Miss Cusie.
Miss Husey, 1980. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, if you're in the okay, John G is from New York. So if you're willing to drive a couple hours or a few hours to go to Bound for Glory and see an awesome pay-per-view, that's not called a premium live event. That's actually called a pay-per-view. Um, come out Thursday evening. I'll tell you this. I don't want to go into too much detail because we're going to tease it over the next couple days. This is an Impact watch along that you will not want to miss. You don't want to miss this one. I cannot stress that enough. You don't want to miss this one. So Jodie, now that I've teased us, any final words? Joe saying you guys will be shocked is huge. Yes, it is I'm telling you now, you don't want to miss this Thursday. Tell your friend. I mean, tell everybody. Come check us out on Thursday. You don't want to miss this one. All right, Jodie. Final thoughts for this week.
Oh man, had an absolute blast. Getting to see Caleb again, and really enjoyed that show. Really looking forward to seeing him again in London, and just be patient and with Bray, and I promise it's going to pay off.
That's right. Patience.
Caleb and Windham, love you both. I can't even make a heart. There you go. Love you both.
See, I can't do it. I ain't even going to try. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Oh, yes. I got a new tattoo.
Yeah, Jodie got a new tattoo. There you go. Hanzo is sending a special message to Jodie in the chat. I'm going to read it off, and this is going to be the last thing that we do on this show this week. By the way, come back and join us on Thursday. Even if you're not an avid Impact watcher, no, Bray. This doesn't mean that Bray's going to Impact. This is
doesn't always mean Bray, you guys.
This is totally different. This is totally different. This is something completely separate from Bray Wyatt. So that's why you need to show up on Thursday just to see what it is. But here's what Hanzo says. Jodie, I've seen your tweets recently. Just remember, you're a beautiful, talented individual with a big heart. Don't let anyone put you down. You're a wonderful soul. We love you, plus Windham too.
I love you guys too.
So thank you all for joining us this evening. It was a lot of fun. These hours tend to go by quickly, as it happens every week. So thank you all for joining us. And if you haven't done so already, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing the channel. James Chadwick, I will DM you, but it's not that. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on this video before you go. And hopefully we will see you on Thursday. We got a big night for Impact, so join us on Thursday. And we'll see you next time, folks. Take care.
So what do you say? You want to see my secret?